This week, the Super Indeglio Brothers talk about the program on Netflix, and they jump on to the 2024 hype train a couple of months late, and now your host, well, that's me, Mike Indeglio. What's up, everybody? Welcome to K&M Geekly. Just a sneak peek at some geeks, talking about some of the things getting them through their week. I'm joined this week, as I will be every other week moving forward, exclusively by Dr. Nick. Dr. Nick, welcome back to K&M Geekly. This is our show now. I wish we had been a little bit more planned for our first one going out the gate. That's my fault. I forgot what day it was. How you doing this week?
I'm just happy to be here. Happy to be, as I believe you once called me, the Joan Rivers of K&M Geekly.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, though, will I get a cartoon avatar to join you and Keith with your Star Trek cartoon opening?
That's a pretty good question. That's probably going to fall to me now because
Oh boy.
I own this part of the channel. So we'll work on it. Yeah, it does make sense. Or I'll come up with something. You know what? I got an idea. I had an idea. The question becomes, how good can I get DALL-E 3 on ChatGPT to whip something up for me?
You are much better at that than I am, given the
go.
Cornman work.
It might be weird moving forward, but we'll see. We'll get on it. But until then, Nick, you have to just be Keith. I meant to tell this story last week, and it fell off the radar because I was so excited, and there's so much to talk about. So quickly, let's talk about your student in the most legally friendly way.
Yes, without violating any FERPA laws.
Because it's crazy. As much as I have a YouTube channel, I don't know at all how any of this works. And so, Keith and I fought tooth and nail. We've been doing podcasts for almost 5 years now on YouTube and on podcast networks. We have made almost no money, and we had to fight tooth and nail to get to close to 2,000 subscribers. We don't even have 2,000 subscribers now. Yes, it's a niche little market we've got here, but I thought it just meant it was hard, Nick. But it's not hard for everybody. Go ahead and tell a story.
Yeah, so one of my favorite students, whose name obviously we can't say on the podcast here, but for we'll just call him. Let's call him BC. That'll be the nickname. BC.
He's a middle school student.
Middle school student. One of the sweetest kids you'd ever want to meet. Very unassuming, and he's very much still into the magic of everything. Mm-hmm. He loves Christmas. He loves Halloween. He loves. We do a scary movie festival every year, and he's a big part of that. And just so happened that one of our teachers who has him in class last week, and who's also very, very big with the audio-visual productions and things like that. He runs our TV studio. He noticed that this student, BC, he likes spending time making YouTube videos and things like that. And they were starting a new project. He was helping another student, so he just told BC, just hang tight, do some YouTube for a few minutes, and I'll be with you. Just give me a couple. So when he goes over to BC, he, for the first time, really sees his YouTube page. He's always on there. He's always making videos, always kind of listening to him, watching him, whatever. Never really noticed before. And he sees that what appears to be 40,000 subscribers. And then he just kind of leans over and he's like, hey, click on, sort that by your videos. And he clicks on his videos and sees that his most viewed video has 6.5 million views, and his channel has amassed just about 30 million total views at this point. So as we unpeeled the layers of this onion, we discovered that this student had somehow cracked the YouTube algorithm with a very, very, very niche type thing that kind of goes into these really strange, unique characters, but then video editing, and then somehow just took off. And when you ask him to talk about it or whatever, he's just very nonchalant, no big deal. And he's killing it. He's killing the YouTube world out there while we are not.
Yeah, it was crazy to look, and it's a weird kind of, I don't want to say weird. It's a strange corner of the internet. That's completely on the up and up. It's nothing it's not, when I say strange, it's not going down any dark corners. It's very very wholesome content.
Mm-hmm.
If so niche and with characters that are just off my radar. I have kind of no idea what the whole situation is. But regardless, it is cool / scary to know that there's this whole universe you can monetize or you can just really play in. And it's weird, man. None of it makes any sense to me.
Yeah, and it's a real test of my moral and ethical character to not ask him to like share our stuff with
I
his
think it's a very bad.
subscribers.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, not that you would ever do that, but just as it's the temptation of like, you have somehow done some magic here. Could you spread some magic for us?
I guess. Although I will say the magic in the sauce for us so far has been that, with the exception of like a few things here and there, we have really kind of interesting discourse with a lot of our audience, and people are really supportive and actually watching the stuff, and it's a conversation, which is really a hard thing to do on the internet because anytime if you get any sort of audience, it gets a little like the internets, and it gets weird and kind of nasty. We've kind of stayed above that, and if it stays small and we keep that, I'll go. I'm fine with it. I just need to talk out loud a couple of hours each week, otherwise I'll go insane. Okay, we've talked too much. We talk on the channel often about Netflix documentaries and docuseries and true crime stuff, Nick. So and my brother is big into that stuff too. So we'll probably talk a lot about that. Keith doesn't watch as much of it. And Nick, I've been talking over the past few years how Netflix specifically in this corner of the market, this has been airing more towards the sensationalized and a very sort of formulaic way they produce a lot of this docuseries content. There are exceptions to that rule, and there's some really great stuff that's happening. Nick and I had a chance recently to check out their new hotness docuseries. It is called The Program. I think I have a little thing here. Cults, Cons, and Kidnapping. It's a 3-part series. I got some info here for you. It is directed by Catherine Kubler, and it follows, it's produced by Netflix, and it follows, I guess, basically this collection of students of this, what would you even call it, alternative school? Send-away school?
Yeah, it's an alternative school, but it's also it's a private school situation where they were able to obtain a clientele base by essentially making these rich people, multi-level market for them and getting them to buy into what was happening at the school, which isn't necessarily true, what actually was happening. And they would, basically they created a multi-level marketing scheme to kind of capture legitimately, literally and figuratively, these children, and basically never really let them go, while amassing more and more clients at multiple institutions across the country. So this was a coming together, right, of several students who had been together in one of these particular institutions, and Ivy Ridge, I believe it was called. And
yes, Ivy Ridge.
Yeah, and a very remote place that helped keep the town in business. This was part of their ploy. This was part of how they stayed in business. They would employ a lot of people. They brought money into the town, and therefore people would turn a blind eye to some of the things that were happening there. And then we just happened to put this on at the exact same time. I was at my house, you were at your house, and we were like in the same spot as we watched. And at first I thought the main character, Kathy, was it Kubler?
Yeah, I think she's also the director and like kind of creator of this whole film.
Yeah, at first I was not sure that I was going to be able to empathize with her or connect with her. But they really did a good job over the course of a few episodes, I think, showing you what was really happening as it developed there. And she took some big swings, I thought, which she didn't have to take inside of the series. So I really enjoyed it overall. And again, it wasn't like a 12-parter where you have to really, you should really probably like binge it. You know what I mean? Like try to knock it out in one or two nights if you can, and or over a weekend.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. This is one of those documentaries where I think there's usually sort of 3 paths things can go. 1, the story's really fascinating, and the documentary in some way itself is visually appealing, has an interesting framing device, or is just a really well done documentary, and so it's sort of a combo, knock it out of the park. There are documentaries that are somewhat interesting, but the sensational production is so sensational and so production-y that it ruins it. And then sometimes it's any combination of the two. This one I feel like is like Nick said, the story is worth watching this documentary. It's such an interesting. There are twists and turns. It goes bigger than you think it does. So it's worth watching for this story. I felt like this is one of those things that didn't need to be 3 1-hour episodes. They probably could have been a 60-minute, like a 2020 type of thing. And I felt like this was probably a 4 to 6 hour single documentary this person had produced, and Netflix really had to go in and like hefty edit it. Because like Nick said, it seemed a little aimless at first. And that's what was scary, but then it sort of finds its way. So ultimately, I think definitely worth a watch. Not a huge commitment, and really interesting and effed up, which is sort of the best stuff, right?
Yeah, if you're not into if you haven't watched a lot of these types of documentaries, or you're not in like the education field at all, or know someone close to you who is in the education field, it's probably worth watching one of the other documentaries that recently came out about these types of outward bound programs back in the 80s,
like
90s.
Behavioral modification boarding schools.
Yeah, and there was and I forget the guy's name now, but it was a shorter documentary series that kind of covers how they came to be, and what was the genesis and the eventual downfall. And this one kind of fits nicely into that gap there. But you see the perspective of a lot of the students, which you don't see all the time from these types of documentaries. So I agree, definitely worth a watch.
All right. So the next thing I want to do, since we were supposed to see Dune 2 this week, it didn't quite work out. Still on the radar. And then next week and coming weeks, there's more stuff coming up. So Nick and I both suffer from a life wanderlust, where if there's not something specific to look forward to, sometimes stuff gets rote. And though there's a lot going on in the next few months, I thought what would be fun today is to just plow through some of the TV shows, movies, and video games that are coming up this year, the remainder of the year, that we might not know about, we might be into, and just kind of get a litmus test going. And what I did to do that, Nick, was I just pulled up 3 random lists, and let's just plow through them and give let's cut it down to 3: in, out, or hype, right? Or hype.
Ooh, okay.
Psych.
So hype is like I got you. All right.
Okay, so let's start in no particular order. I guess with TV shows we'll run through. We're going from Mashable.com. So, we're in March now, so let's just fly through this list quickly and talk anything we've seen already. I know we both finished True Detective. Overall?
Definitely that a hype for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Season 1, I don't think will ever be topped. However, I thought this was a strong, focused story, so well done, and powerful performances by both leads who you're looking at there on screen. Definitely worth the watch, even though they might have tried to have too many storylines going, but I feel like it all got tied up pretty nicely.
Yeah, I don't think any season has like 100% hit it out of the park, but there's just enough of the vibes that I like that I recommend every season. I would say this is probably the second or third best.
Agreed. I would probably go season 1, season 3, slightly edging out season 4, and then season 2 is in last place.
All right. I don't know this one. All right. I've heard some buzz about Expats. I think it's out now, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
January it came out. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a Lulu Wang created show. We got Nicole Kidman. Any chance of you putting this on?
Probably not.
Yeah, too much stuff. I'm out. If anybody has watched it and we're wrong, let me know. Let us know, please. I've heard a lot of great things about this. Masters of the Air.
I've purposely waited because I wanted to have all the episodes drop. Mm-hmm. And I have a group of friends who are all principals and historians, really, really into World War II, and they give this an enthusiastic thumbs up. Not quite Band of Brothers quality, but definitely a home run.
Oh, okay. Well, I would have gone from maybe pass to definitely in now.
Yeah, I'm not hyped, but I'm in.
Okay. I love Feud. I love Ryan Murphy, but I'm sort of Ryan Murphy'd out right now, so I think I'm out on Feud, Capote, and the Swans.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out as well.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
It's on my my in list, but for the summer or maybe over spring break. Definitely like a popcorn. You know, take it in that way.
I've heard, like you said before, enthusiastically hype people for this show. So it's gone from an into hype for me. I've downloaded all the episodes. They're ready to go. I just have to find the time, which I'm a little worried about, but definitely. Curb. I don't know if you've started watching this season yet.
I have not seen any of season 12 yet.
Okay. It's I mean, the last few seasons have not been peak Curb, but it's still great, man. There's some great episodes already this season, and there's only a few more. I'm sad, but it's total hype. Abbott Elementary. My wife and I
Yeah.
just started season 1.
Okay.
Um,
Well, so what's your take so far?
I really like it. You and I kind of talked a little bit about this. The thing about The Office was so nondescript as to like what happens at Dunder Mifflin. It was so generic that it felt believable enough. Because we kind of have been around the education system a lot, it's hard not to have a little bit of a voice in your head that's like, this is not how an elementary school works. Like, none of this is how this goes. So that takes me out of it a little bit. I can only imagine what it does for you. But that said, the writing's really funny. The performances are really funny, so you have to forgive it.
Yeah, at the just the principal alone and her
She's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it for that alone. But yeah, that it does kind of pull me out a little bit.
All right, one day I got nothing for you.
No, sorry.
All right, dude, Constellation, you haven't started yet.
I have not, and it's a hype because you have hyped it for me.
Yeah, dude, this show is great. The first episode, at the end of it, you're like, oh no, they're not giving me anything. There's nothing happening. You have no idea what's happening. But then just perfectly doled out over the next, we're up to episode 6. You get just enough to feel like you're one step ahead, but you never quite know. There's only 2 episodes left for me. I'm in real time. I hope they nail the ending. I will see. Because this is one of those things that could make or break it, but it's beautiful. It's mind-bendy. It feels like they have a firm grasp on their universe, and we just don't have some details. I'm hyped. It's great.
Yeah, I think that might be on the spring break list.
Avatar.
I gotta go. I'm just gonna lead here just because I've read some reviews at this point, and I'm gonna go without just because since the original anime, nothing has really done it justice even a little bit, and I hear this is pretty much paint by numbers. So
yeah, I heard some similar things. Here's the thing: all you know what it made me do was re-download the first one. I think I'm gonna go back to the anime because it's just so good.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some cool stuff about this, but I don't know. I already have sort of my animation fill.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. Oh, Shogun. I'm super hyped on Shogun, but again, I have found lately the patience to wait because I can't. It's too much angst to wait week to week for so many shows. I want to be able to binge.
Yeah, I feel similarly. But I have a fear that because of like stuff coming up in time, that if I wait for the binge, then I'm going to start looking to carve out 9 hours instead of just put aside a couple, 2 or 3, and watch the first few. I mean, already 4 are out, and by the time you get through those, you'll definitely get to 5. So I don't know. I'm hesitant that waiting any longer is going to make me not watch it.
Understood. And I see the fear there, which definitely could be problematic. I also will say, and because I don't know if it's going to pop up on this list, but I waited for episode 4 today of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. So it's the final reuniting of Rick and Michonne. So I had 4 in a row to watch. And I'm glad I waited because it would have been painful.
Yeah, especially those first 2.
Yeah. Now did you see episode 4?
I have only watched the first 2. I haven't done 3 or 4 yet.
Okay. Episode 4.
Do we get real time eventually?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you get real time, and you get episode 4 is not a standalone episode, but it's the first time they spend time together to try to start figuring out what's happening, and it gets real good.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the first 3 episodes as well, but episode 4 they once again have grabbed me and made me care about these characters.
Okay.
Episode 3 is going to do that for you too, but a little bit of more of a Last of Us way. And that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I'll wait to see if it's on the list before I make my comments on the first 2 episodes. But The Regime, Jen and I watched the first one. It's pretty funny. I don't know if I'll go back, but it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm probably out on that.
This is really funny. I watched the first season. It's really, really funny. I would love, but I have to watch the second season. But if you've never even heard of it, put it on your list because it's pretty funny.
All right, I will give that a definite in.
Palm Royale, I'm out.
Yeah, out.
Although I have to say, Apple TV has been killing it. Hey Jen, you want to jump in on this? You want to talk to the Geeklies or no? Okay, she's on a PJ no. That's a hard PJ no. Okay, 3 body problem.
Let's see how it is.
3 body problem.
Hype.
Yes, the hype is. I'm trying not to. I'm got hyped to a point where I'm going to stop reading stuff because you read one person who was lukewarm on it, and then you're like, I'm out. So, yeah, I don't know too much about it. I know that everybody I've talked to, including you, is really hyped. So, and I did. It is not it is a binge drop. So it is all 8 episodes up at one.
Ooh, that's something. This is one I am hyped enough about where I don't know if we want to do like watch. What do you call it when the kids do these days? Party watch or whatever that thing is.
Yeah, we could do that. I don't know if we can do it on the Patreon because I don't know. The shows we usually watch are pretty old. So, but we could do so, and we should definitely talk about each episode afterwards on the show. So maybe we'll do a separate drop on K&M Geekly about each episode of 3 Body Problem. I'll talk to Keith, see if he's interested in that, but if not, you and I can just do it.
Yeah, and for sure, your current subscribers, your faithful fans, I'm curious as to who knows who's read the books and who's in for this one because it's going to be. I think it's going to be big.
All right. Apple Never Fall. You know, I had not even heard of this show until I was just scrolling through yesterday on Prime Video, and this caught my attention.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's basically a really strong cast: Annette Bening, Sam Neill, Alison Brie, and it is based on this book. When a hurt young woman arrives on their doorstep, joy suddenly disappears. The Delaney's will re-examine everything they thought they knew about family. No doubt they'll uncover some unsettling family secrets. Some crime takes place, a kidnapping or a disappearance, if I'm not mistaken, and everybody's a suspect kind of thing.
I like Big Little Lies, so if it's similar to that, I would watch it.
So here's my first super hype. You're not.
I don't know. I'm afraid to be hyped for this one.
The thing I love most about Fallout, I don't really love the gameplay of the game really much. I just love those little stories you find, and if this captures even a minutia of it, the trailers have got me hype. So I'm just hoping it can nail it.
Yeah. I'm just I don't want to get too excited.
Yeah. I don't do Bridgerton. I don't do Bridgerton.
No, definitely not. Danielle does Bridgerton.
Arcane is awesome.
Yeah, that's a definite. Is that going to drop all at the same time, or is that a weekly?
I'm sure. Well, I'm not sure, but it's an Apple TV, I think. Oh, it's Netflix. It'll be all at once.
Okay, so then I'm definitely in because it's.
I watched that on a cruise though, so I had time, but it was really good. Oh, this is my biggest hype. Was one of my favorite shows that I've seen on television.
Really?
Yeah, I love Hacks.
We've never discussed it.
Oh, have you watched it?
I've seen a couple episodes from the first season. I don't think I saw them in order.
Yeah, you got to watch it sit down and watch it as a drama. It's a comedy, but watch it as a drama.
Okay. Yeah, I would be in.
The only thing about Hacks that I hate is that it's a weekly drop.
See, that's
So I think that's next month actually. Yeah, I don't know what this is.
No, too many boobs.
I did not. Yeah. Oh,
I did not like House of the Dragon season 1. I did not. It didn't do it for me. And I was a huge Game of Thrones fan. Huge.
You ready for it? I only watched the last season. I never even watched the show. I just watched because it was like party watch.
I know.
Agatha is
the worst of them.
A Marvel thing, right?
Correct. Yes. And if you like WandaVision, you at least will tune in for this. Even though
it's been so long, though.
I know, and I don't think it's going to connect to WandaVision. Really, it's going to be Agatha's own story, and I will watch it, but I'm not in any way interested in it. Really.
All right, so we haven't doing it. So I'm gonna say, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, but all right, the Penguin.
The Penguin did not work for me. The new Batman didn't work for me,
Hmm.
aside from the ending and the Batmobile.
I thought, yeah, I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. But I feel like we're so marveled out that maybe there's an opening for DC. So maybe if it's good, I like a dark, gritty noir type of thing. I wonder if they'll be able to I guess there's no Batman in there.
No, I think it's soul. What's once again where it's like that Gotham bit, and I don't know. How do
Okay.
you? mm,
Yeah, here's the
maybe-
thing with Dune, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like okay with Dune. I think it's pretty and stuff. And I want to see. I like just big blockbuster movies. That's why I want to go see it in theater. But I don't know if I want to watch like another show about it.
Yeah. Mm, I don't like this world that is complicated. So Dune, we go way back, right? Like people who didn't know thought that Dune stole from Star Wars, and it was like, no, Star Wars stole from Dune. It was out way before, like Spice, all of it. And the first one of this new, trilogy, or however many they're planning on making, I'm all about the world. I love the first one. Thought it was done really well. Set up the second one. That's why I'm excited to see the second one. Batista's in it, which is awesome. So and it's great. But you got to pay attention. Like there's a lot going on.
Hmm.
I don't need to go thousands and thousands of years before all of it. I have a hard enough time keeping track in my head of what's happening in the current ones, much less now a prequel to something that we haven't even seen all of it yet, right? And like unless you've read the original books, a prequel is not going to hit for you necessarily. Similar to the not Lord of the Rings. What's the Amazon one? That just the prequel. Maybe it was Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't work for me either. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. I gotta be honest with you. I've only ever watched one episode of The Boys.
Really?
Yeah, and I know you love it, so I probably have to catch up on all the seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely worth watching all the seasons for sure. Really interested to see where they're going to go with this next season.
So I would put you on hype there.
I would go hype. Do we know when it's coming out? Did they give us dates on that one?
It says Boys will premiere in 2024. So no, doesn't look like it.
Okay.
Let's just keep going through this and stop me. I watched the first one of Interview with the Vampire, the reboot, and it seemed very pretty great. But I just never went back.
Yeah, nothing
Fell through the cracks,
That's a no for me.
All right, Star Wars: The Acolyte. I didn't even know this was a thing. Okay.
Hype. Yes,
right.
We're going to be exploring the Sith. And we're going, I think, and we're in between the High Republic era and leading up a little bit closer to the prequels, but more High Republic era. And it's going to be a deep dive into Sith lore, which now here I just talked about not being into that. Here I am into it. I think this is going to really deliver.
Okay, there you have it. I guess I'll check it out. We also got another Star Wars Skeleton Crew. That's Mandalorian time period. Okay.
Yep.
The Sympathizer. Never heard of. Park Chan-wook. Okay.
Yeah, can't say
I've heard much about it. Yeah, so I can't tell you. Umbrella Academy haven't watched, so I'm probably out.
I watched the first 2 seasons and kind of lost interest after the first 2.
Okay, there you have it. That was the list prepared for us. Sorry if anybody got epilepsy there. Yeah, there's some stuff coming up.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they didn't have Rick and Michonne on the list here. That kind of surprised me a little bit. And I've watched them all. Like I stopped watching The Walking Dead, the original series, right after Carl died. That's when I stopped. And I was a huge fan of the comics. I followed the comics all the way through till the end. Stuck with the show as long as I could, and then picked it back up in the episode that was Rick's last episode. I watched the first spinoff, which was Fear the Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've watched the Daryl show where he's in France, and I watched oh my gosh, what was the other one? The New York with Negan and Maggie.
Yeah, I don't know. I've stopped well before that. I think it was after. I think I might have made it to the Carl reveal, but not much past it. And I didn't know that I was going to jump back in, but the first episode drew me in to see where Rick's been. And the Michonne episode I thought was pretty strong. I'm in, except that it reminded me also how good The Walking Dead was, or the Last of Us.
Last of Us.
Last of Us felt very much like movies, whereas this feels like a TV show.
Yeah.
But the smart thing here is they're back. The show Walking Dead works best when it's a small group of people, and when they just let Rick be in it.
And that's the again, I can't say much else until you see 3 and 4. Maybe we can talk more about it after that. But yeah.
All right, so let's we got a little bit of time. I mean, what are we doing? Maybe I'll split this up, but maybe not. Let's plow through these games. Same deal, only we'll try to be less verbose. Although, whatever, it's our show. Okay, yeah. Suicide kills the Justice League. Let me tell you, I'm glad I saved my money here. Yeah, glad I saved my money. I heard it was terrible, and it sucks because I love the Arkhamverse and I wish it didn't suck. But I'm not gonna play it. Ultros, no. Here's the thing: there's still so much good stuff from last year I have to play. So you have to really wow me here. Otherwise, I'm also very busy. So
yeah, there's a few that have got my attention, but I agree.
Oh, hey Danielle.
That's Danielle. That's my wife, and a whole bunch of dogs behind me.
That's the great intro. So I haven't finished Super Mario Wonder. I'm loving it. It's fun. It's joyous. I don't know that I will play this.
Probably not. No.
Yeah. We got Pacific Drive, which I have played. Nick, you probably don't even know anything about it, as you're not a
only
PC
what you've
gamer.
told. Yeah. You've mentioned it.
It's like a ghost car. It's fun. It's neat. I played a few hours of it. I probably won't go back because I don't like roguelikes, which is where you die and then you go back and you try a longer run. It's just not my jam, but it's very good.
It's like you were saying it was like a Hades style, right?
Yeah, it's very good though. Final Fantasy, also another time I want to be into these, but something about, I don't know, I can't get into it. I played 7 back when I was a kid and I just tried to play the re-one and that's not doing it for me. I know you're into 15 or 16 though?
16, and I was always on the periphery of the Final Fantasy games. It wasn't until this one that I took the time to read back and understand what the series has always been trying to do. And I think that's why I am so into 16, is because I get it at this point. I don't see myself going back to play 7 necessarily, because by the time I finish 16, we'll probably be on to whatever, the next reboot or remake is. But I'm really digging the world for sure.
And as someone who is an admitted not great combatter guy, you're able to find a difficulty level that suits you?
Yeah, I mean, these days, not that I ever really felt the need to play at a difficult combat level, but it's 16's combat is very intuitive, and it feels kind of even a little bit like a Spider-Man vibe in terms of once you get the control scheme, it's not too bad.
Okay, all right. Dragon's Dogma 2 is a huge role-playing game with some interesting elements. I never played the first one, but of all the upcoming games, this one sort of has an interest. I could see myself checking it out maybe after reviews come out. I don't know the series much. Yeah,
this one didn't make my list, but it's only because there's a few other ones that did. So okay, I'm not poo-pooing it. However, I'm not interested.
I think this one might be on my list. I think it might be the thing I play most on this list, or give it a go. So we'll see. Maybe convince me of otherwise. Princess Peach, once again, haven't been doing Nintendo stuff lately. Oh, this one, something new could be cool.
And they've actually been talking a little bit that it is going to give some different kind of gameplay and stuff, like the way it's set in a theater. And I have a feeling Bella and Tali might want to play it. In which case, I would give it a go. It has a Super Smash look to it a little bit.
Yeah, is it side scrolling or is it like a mini game type thing? No, it looks like it's a game.
Yeah, it's a game. I know it's centered around this theater that you're looking at, and there's a whole plot that goes. I mean, you never really understand what these stories are about.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, well, all right. Maybe if they say it's good, I'll play it. Don't know what that is, so I'm going to skip it. Harold Harrowbit. It's coming out this spring, apparently. It looks like an adventure game. Haven't heard anything about it. Classic point and click, though, with Wes Anderson vibes. That could be my jam.
Mm-hmm. It looks cool.
All right, that's on my list. Stalker's not my vibe.
Nope.
Black Myth Wukong.
Yes. So, okay. Now, this is based on the Journey West. It's a famous, Western kind of novel. It just got done as a Disney show, which was one of my favorites that's been out recently, I enjoyed the whole first season. It's very tween, but basically it's a very easy mythology to pick up on and understand. And I'm hearing that the combat, even though it's going to be kind of Souls-like, I hear not Souls-like. That's not what I'm like a little Neo maybe. So basically difficult. But the graphics I think look really good, and I could be into this one. This one's on my list.
Okay. Yeah, I think I remember. I've seen trailers for this. It does look unique and interesting. These are some ones. Oh, Hellblade. I liked the first one. If I can play, it'll probably be on Game Pass, so I'll probably give it a try.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait on that one.
Star Wars Outlaws looks cool. If that makes this year, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know that it's gonna make the.
But if it does, I'm hyped for that.
It could be.
Hollow Knight. Those are cool. Where are the? Oh, I know you had some other ones on your list. That was not a great list I pulled up, but
yeah, I did. I mean, and I fortunately I have my list.
There's one coming up, right? Like next week or something.
Yes. In fact, there's like 3 of them that are coming out in the next couple weeks. So here we go. Princess Peach was on there.
Yep.
Rise of the Ronin.
Yep.
Definitely. I mean, it's got some Ghost of Tsushima vibes. However, it's set in a real life event time period. It's set in the 1860s. And you play a character that wasn't alive, but you are in the events that are happening, which is kind of like The Last Kingdom with Uhtred. Like he wasn't real, but the other characters and the other people really were. So I'm definitely looking forward to Rise of the Ronin. Stellar Blade, I think, looks really cool. It's got like a Japanese anime vibe to it, which is kind of cool. And the other one was, and I know this is kind of ridiculous, but I would just play it and not have to dump a lot of time into it. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I haven't seen any trailers for that.
I think it's a multiplayer. It's like 7. I think that's you drop in with 7 other people, and then you either play with them against the clowns, or you play as one of the clowns against them, which just seems kind of fun.
Yeah, Rise of the Ronin. I have to be honest. I've seen some previews, and it's a different game, so I don't want to compare it to Ghost of Tsushima, but I loved that game so much that it's going to be hard not to compare it to it. And I just don't think there's any chance in hell that it... But I do know Ghost of Tsushima is coming out itself, I think in May for PC, with like super updated graphics and stuff. So I might actually just revisit that game. But if you like it, I might play it. And the only other game that has come out... There's a bunch of PC stuff I'm going to play in demos and different stuff, but the only other kind of mainstream game that has come out that I'm kind of excited about, even though it is not my type of game, is Helldivers 2. I've heard almost unanimous praise for just how addicting and catchy it is. So that could be something fun to pick and pop, and maybe get into a live service game, which Lord knows how addicted we got to Diablo when we started playing it. So
it was bad in a good way. But yeah, I could definitely see giving Helldivers a try for sure.
All right, so that'll be fun on the channel too, maybe. Lastly, I saved movies because, Hollywood seems to be back. Right now, I'm waiting for the Blu-ray in May of Godzilla -1 because we missed that in the theaters, which is shitty. But things are back, so let's close the show out with some of the upcoming movies and how we're feeling about it. Hopefully, this list is long, so we'll try to get through. Mean Girls, the musical. I don't know. Did you watch it with the kids?
No, but they weren't thrilled.
Oh, I loved it. Jen and I loved it. So if you're a Mean Girls fan, 100%, I recommend Mean Girls, the musical, the movie. Argyle, I didn't watch. Have no strong opinion about.
Nope.
Madam Web, I've heard bad things. Yeah.
Real bad.
So I don't know that I'm going to make time. Maybe when I find its way to Blu-ray.
It's streaming now. You can rent it.
Oh, maybe. Bob Marley, One Love. Well, I'll have to catch it with commercials.
Yeah.
Dune. I feel like if I don't watch it at the theater, we're going to lose 80% of the boom of it,
Agreed. Yeah. We still got time.
Yeah, we have time. Kung Fu Panda 4, that's a waiter. I've never watched Kung Fu Panda, although Jack Black never swings and misses, so don't know much about that, so I don't think it's doing.
No, I saw a
David
preview.
Greer's cool though.
Yeah, the preview looked good, but when's that one coming out?
I think it's now, today.
Yeah. You see, the problem with those types of movies for me,
we're talking about the American Society of Magical Negroes. That's the movie we're talking about. Sorry, I
Yeah.
forgot people are listening.
I need the movies I see in theater are usually there's a reason to see them on a big screen. A lot of dramas and for me they don't have to be big screeners. Dramas, comedies, things like that. So that's definitely a rent from home.
Yeah, that makes sense. I try to go to the movies as much as I can, but I'm weird. Roadhouse is a remake, I believe. No.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's a remake. The Patrick Swayze's
Oh, yeah, that's
classic.
right. And we got Jake Gyllenhaal, this former
Yeah,
MMA
except
fighter. Okay.
yeah, Conor McGregor's in it, and
Oh,
it'll be
yeah. Okay, now I know what we're looking about.
yeah, it'll be cheesy, but it'll be entertaining.
Well, this one's we're going to see maybe this week.
So everyone seems to be in, so it looks like Thursday's a go for
Okay.
opening night.
I gotta tell you, I loved the first reboot of Ghostbusters. This is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and the big hook of this one is that they said, you know what? People seem to like the nostalgia bits of the last one, so let's double down. So we've got the full clan, man. We've got Bill Murray, you got Dan Aykroyd, you've got Harold. No, you don't. Directed by Hal Raines' son.
Yes,
And I
Ernie
think
Hudson.
Ernie Hudson is in this one too. Yeah. So,
And I'm sure we're gonna get Sigourney Weaver and Annie Potts is gonna be in it.
It's gonna be awesome. And if not, I'm gonna tell you it was awesome. So stay tuned to our unbiased review. No, I'm sure it's gonna be cool. I'm excited. The first one was great. Oh, Paul Rudd.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. The fact that they're just giving us a whole new mythology is gonna be great.
Let's talk about Godzilla King Kong. That's a go see it in the
Yes.
movie theater one.
This is probably my biggest hype for the year.
Okay.
Now and again, here's the thing. We talked on one of the shows about the first one, Godzilla versus Kong, that debuted during COVID, when theaters were closed,
Did we
so
see
you only
that?
could see it.
Did I see
Yeah.
that?
If you didn't, you need to, because it is what they did was they made a WWE movie about King Kong fighting Godzilla. They didn't kill you with all these human plot lines. They made it about King Kong fighting Godzilla, and then they introduce what they basically it's the Lost World. It's where all these titans have been coming from the very first Godzilla movie back in 2013, and you get to go to this world about 3/4 of the way through the movie, and it's everything you would want it to be. It's ridiculous, but it's awesome. The graphics are great. The fights between Kong and Godzilla, of which there are 3, total WWE, just very good action sequences. They don't do the Michael Bay, you can't tell what's going on. It's hardcore. Like when you see Godzilla powerbomb King Kong, that's exactly what you see. It's just highly entertaining.
I wish you hadn't
So
described it with the preface of hardcore, because then everything I'm seeing in my head is is more disturbing. But I wasn't in on that, but now I'm double in. I'm gonna watch the first one and then check this out.
if you don't like the first one, I would be shocked.
Okay. The Fall Guy next on the list here is supposed to be like a Ryan Gosling as a stunt guy. It looks. I've seen some trailers. There's one on the Super Bowl. Seems okay. I might watch it sometime.
I like the 80s show, so why not?
There's a Amy Winehouse biopic coming out. That should be interesting.
I just feel like it's too depressing for me.
Okay. If I've seen one trailer that looked kind of neat. It's Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Ryan Reynolds, and this like that could be a cool fantasy adventure, perhaps.
Yeah, and I think Krasinski wrote it, right?
Yeah, it's like I can only picture it as like kind of a Ted meets Pixar type of movie.
Yeah, hopefully it's something a little bit different.
So we have our first in the Mad Max universe type of offshoot film, Furiosa. I loved that Mad Max movie, so
yeah, that's why this makes me nervous.
Yeah,
there's no way it can be as good.
No, but if it's even like somewhat as good, it's a great movie to go see a movie. You know what I mean? To go to the theater, so that's kind of always fun.
Yeah, and Chris Hemsworth probably will be a great bad guy in that.
So my biggest hype is Kingdom of the Apes or Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Every one of these, even the James Franco one, the first of the whole new Apes. I guess not a trilogy anymore. It's a quad.
This is like the 5th one
yeah,
now,
whatever
right?
it is. They've all been
6th?
Incredible. Like incredible. Andy Serkis. I think his character still alive? I think. If not, well then they're gonna have to put him in some other character because just the mocap of these has been great. The drama has been great. I mean, FX have caught up a lot in recent years, so it's not as impressive anymore, but I really liked these movies, so I'm psyched to see it.
Yeah, that'll be a good one for sure in theater.
There's the Crow remake, the third Crow remake, maybe?
Look, I gotta. You can't take a movie as classic as The Crow, right? That summed up the decade of the 90s. Like all of the emo goth stuff that happened in the 90s was The Crow. In addition to the fact that the star of the movie, which is about a guy dying, actually dies. Yeah. It has become legend. It's Brandon Lee, the son of Bruce Lee. The sequels that they made were terrible. You can't remake this movie. That movie still today holds up. We could watch it right now and it would be every bit as good as it was the first time I saw it.
I don't even love it, but so I definitely don't care about the remake of it, but you're right. That's one of those movies you just don't touch for a variety of reasons. And it's, to be fair, the story of The Crow isn't even that interesting anyway. So at least, well, no,
it's a simple story. Like that's the beauty of it. Like it's a John Wick story, essentially, just with a supernatural element. I just don't see the need to redo it.
We got Bad Boys 4.
You could make a Bad Boys movie every year, and I would go see it.
I like them.
The two of them together are just always hilarious.
And like I don't know what part of me wants it so bad, but I'd love to see Will Smith come and knock it out of the park. You know what I mean? Come on.
You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. I love Bad Boys, and there's not enough Martin Lawrence in our life.
It's true.
maybe he's like a fine wine. You can't overdo it.
You can't overdo it.
Inside Out 2? I didn't know we needed it, but let me tell you, if Bing Bong can somehow if there can be echoes of Bing Bong, I'm in.
That's all you need is a little Bing Bong and anxiety. So you're looking at a pretty impressive follow-up to this one. And it's about time, I think, too.
So continuing our Krasinski essence, we've got another A Quiet Place. Now we're going prequel.
Prequel.
Hey, it makes money, man. That's why.
I know.
And they're not bad. I like the first one a lot.
The first one was great. I just think once they discovered the secret, I don't think you needed to do it anymore.
We got Despicable Me 4. Why not? I think it's literally called Why Not. And now we've got Twisters in another installment of what? But I gotta tell you, this could be just crazy enough that it works.
I remember seeing this in the theater in Lancaster when it came out with adults that normally don't go to the movies who were blown away by the special effects. So if they bring today's technology, make it a spectacle, have some cows in the tornadoes again, I will see this in the theater. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a campy romp, and people who will be going. You'll be in an audience with people who get it, who are in on it. So yes. I'm in. Deadpool 3, they're always great.
Always. I mean,
and this time with twice as much Wolverine in the old suit. I mean, I'd be surprised if it's not great.
The only issue I think we could face that would, and I don't think this is for everybody, this is just a me thing. However, when there's too many alternate universes, eventually I kind of check out just a little bit because I like the main universes. Like Spider-Man pulled it off, giving you 3 different Spider-Man universes. It worked. But if this deviates too far, you know what I mean, from what we've seen in the past, we'll see. It's going to be good, no doubt.
Borderlands, I hope it's great. I don't have high hopes for some reason. So there you have it.
Yeah.
Alien Romulus.
You lost me a long time ago.
Yeah, they haven't done great. But Kraven the Hunter.
Why not?
Yeah, we met him in the Spider-Man game. He was awesome. So maybe.
That was really, really cool.
Just like Bad Boys, you can never have too much Beverly Hills Cop. Give me it all day. And it's about time someone takes the reins off of Eddie Murphy and lets him go back to just like being foul-mouthed and going for it. You know what I mean? Enough Haunted Mansion style stuff.
Is that CGI'd? Like, he can't look that good. How old is he now?
I guess
he's in his 70s.
Yeah, there's. We'll say. We'll 60s? Wait to see. Oh God, I forgot Beetlejuice 2's coming out, man.
Yeah, I forgot too, and it's got a great cast.
And Michael Keaton has recently been quoted as saying that like he got emotional about how good the cut was. So
Did you?
100%.
The other thing, did you read the article where Michael Keaton said he actually only ever watched it straight through one time? So he had to go back and actually rewatch to totally remember like the whole lore and what it was all about and everything. So
That's awesome. That my hype level for that's off the charts. Beetlejuice. Transformers 1.
I didn't know this was a thing.
Is it though? I don't know this. I don't know if it's even still funded.
Is it real?
But seems like it.
Chris,
September 13th.
is this where Hemsworth's taking over as Prime's voice? So this is an alternate universe type thing?
I have no information for you. No interest.
Oh, okay.
Fell off the Transformers. I always see the Saws. Love the Saws. Did you see last year's? Pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah. It'll be fun to see how they get Jigsaw back somehow. Joker. The second Joker film with Lady Gaga.
Folie à deux.
Sure.
I mean, the first one I didn't find as good as everyone else did, to be honest.
Me neither. I was lukewarm on it.
Yeah, they didn't really give me anything to care about. Ooh, this Smile was kind of creepy.
Yeah, just for the viral marketing alone, I'm interested in Smile.
Yeah, like the baseball games they did for the first one. That was.
It's fun to go to the theaters to watch these. That's always some time of year, and you need a little pick me up. Although Terrifier 3 looks a little bit more my speed. No, not for you.
Have you seen the first two?
No.
Do you know what these are about?
No. Scary Clown?
These are it's like torture porn. It's gratuitous, over the top in ways you can't even.
Worse than Saw?
Oh God, yeah, 10 times worse.
Then I'm out. Forget it. Venom 3 also out.
Oh,
you're in.
Really?
I don't like that. Yeah, Venom.
I liked them. They worked for me.
Okay.
Big jacked up symbiote. Give it to me.
Okay. Gladiator 2.
No.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Why was this?
What are we doing? Wicked Part 1. I'm a musical theater nerd, so there's no reason I can't be excited for this. I wish it wasn't 2 parts. I'm so sick of that. I want to go see the whole thing, and especially depending on where they cut it. But Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, this thing is going to be a banger. I hope.
Yeah, I'm a big Ariana Grande fan, so I'm kind of interested.
There's this Karate Kid project.
Yeah, so now I must. So King Kong vs. Godzilla is definitely my biggest hype. This could steal it because they're merging the two universes. The remake, I guess, that was with Jackie Chan, exists in the same world as the real Karate Kid. So Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan together to train the kid who was in the show I started telling you about, with the Wulong. It was a Disney one. I can't think of the name right now, but he was really, really good. And if they do this right, if he's the kid that these two are training, this could work. This could actually really be something special.
Okay. I will put my pin in be interested. This is the one I have a question mark, but I could love. It's a prequel to The Lion King. It's called Mufasa, but it's in the digitally photorealistic world. I don't know if it's a musical. That's all the info I have. But love me The Lion King. Love me The Lion King. Maybe? Sonic the Hedgehog 3, I didn't know there was a 2.
There was a 2. It was actually
the one I liked.
Terrible. Yeah.
Nosferatu on Christmas Day.
Definitely in. The Bill Skarsgård as Nosferatu could be.
Oh man, that man's scary.
Yeah, he is terrifying.
Okay, we're in. And of course, this I forgot about, but it is up there.
They pushed it back, right?
Yeah, but I think it's still coming out this year? No, am I wrong?
I heard like 2026.
Oh no, that's Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. This is one of those movies. I loved the sequel, Across the Spider-Verse, but they stopped it in the dead middle, like just the middle of the movie. So there's a whole nother. We got to get there. I'm so excited about it. I really thought it was supposed to be this year, but I guess not. Can we check?
I could be wrong, but I heard it got pushed back to 2026.
Oh, it's undated. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. The rest of these that's all of them. Spider-Man was really going to be my one, but
I think you're out of luck on that one.
Well, okay, there you go. There's some of our stuff hyped. Anything not on those lists, Nick, that you want to mention? I wish
there's 2. One is Knox Goes Away, which looks interesting, kind of like it's not going to be great, but like a sort of like an action-y type flick. And then Arthur the King was another one.
Hmm.
It was kind of in the same vein that I thought looked pretty interesting. And these are all coming out like pretty soon-ish. So there's some curiosity for a couple of those in there.
Okay. Well, listen, folks. That's kind of some of the stuff that's getting us hyped. But first, we're starting off strong. It does feel a little bit like a filler year, so we're gonna have to keep tabs on what really knocks it out of the park. At least in the movie department, there's some great stuff on TV right now. TV is still undergoing its golden age.
Yeah, TV is nailing it. And as far as the movies go, I think when we're back next week, we're going to know Ghostbusters. I think the whole franchise hinges on what happens here.
Mhm.
If this doesn't break Ghostbuster records, I think
it's a litmus test, because I think the last one was so successful. They're like, oh, is there still gas in the engine? I gotta tell you, I'm psyched for it. I think if I was but here's the thing: can the young kids get psyched? Like, can it become a thing again?
Here's what I can tell you.
Did you see that fan event at the
Yes
Firehouse? It was super popular.
And but both Talia and Bella were talking about on TikTok the young actors.
Mhm.
So they were talking about the three kids. So they've got a shot. It's just the bad guys have to be good, and then they have to really blend the original characters in well. But the promotional stuff they're doing, did you see the popcorn boxes?
Mm-mm.
It's a trap. It's a ghost trap, and the popcorn's inside the ghost trap box. So they're on the right track with it.
I know there was like the one negative streak from the last one was that they leaned too heavily on
the original stuff.
And also that the Harold Ramis stuff was too cheesy. I thought it was great. I thought it was tasteful. I thought the movie was great. I thought it was a pitch perfect tone of old and new. Can they hit that same balance? We'll see. All right,
we'll see.
We'll talk to everybody next week. In the meantime, don't let anybody yuck your yum. Keep getting excited about the things that you find fun. And Nick, until we chat again, keep on geeking on.